Here's something almost every basketball fan believes without ever checking it. That home court advantage decides the NBA Finals. The roaring crowd, the friendly whistle, the bench feeding off the building. So let me ask you a simple question. Over the last 5 finals, how often do you think the road team actually loses? You're probably picturing something brutal. Hold that guess, because the real number is going to surprise you. This isn't a hunch, so I pulled every single NBA Finals game from the last 5 championships. 2020 through 2024, 5 series, 28 games. Every one of them with a home team and a road team. And I tracked 3 things. Who won, who shot better, and by how much. Because if home court is the giant everyone says it is, these numbers should scream it. This is Game is Culture. Real quick before we dig in, if you like breakdowns that actually show the math instead of just yelling takes at you, go hit subscribe. It's free and it genuinely helps, so click it. First, the wins. Across those 28 finals games, home teams went 17-11, which means the road team won 11 of them. Run that out and the visiting team is winning almost 40% of the time, 39.3 to be exact. So that's not a fortress, that's a coin flip that's only barely tilted. So sit with that for a second. The single most repeated idea in playoff basketball is that you have to protect home court or you're doomed. But 4 out of every 10 finals games are won by the team that flew in. The crowd is loud. The scoreboard, a lot of the time, just doesn't care. Let me put that 40% in real perspective. In a normal regular season, the home team wins right around 60% of all games. 60. So the finals number, the supposed peak of home court intensity, is basically identical to a random game in December. All the added noise, all the rituals about protecting your floor, and the road team wins at the exact same clip it does every other month of the year. So why do we all believe in it so deeply? Because we remember the wrong games. We remember the deafening Game 6 closeout at home, the crowd storming the floor, the confetti raining down. We don't remember the quiet road win in Game 4 because it never felt like a story. Our memory gets built out of highlights, and highlights almost always live at home. The data remembers all 28 games equally. We only replay the loud ones. Okay, but maybe home court hides in the shooting. Here's where the whole idea really falls apart. If a hostile crowd rattles shooters, the road team should shoot way worse. They don't. Home team shot 46.1% from the field. The road team's 45.2%. That's a gap of under 1 single percentage point. And from 3, the visitors actually shot better, 36.1 to 35.5. Think about what that actually means. You take an NBA shooter, you drop him into a screaming building on the road, in the highest pressure games of his entire life, and his accuracy falls by less than 1%. From deep, it doesn't fall at all, so the hands don't really shake, not in any way the box score can find. So where is the real edge? Because there is one. Home teams did outscore the road by about 5 points a game, 107 to 102. So that's real, that matters. But 5 points is 1 possession in the last 2 minutes. It's a tip-in, a single whistle. So it's an edge, it is not a wall. And here's the thing about 5 points. It helps you. It does not save you. A team that is getting outplayed doesn't get rescued by its own building. The crowd can buy you a run. It can't buy you a series. The talent still has to show up and win the possessions. Quick interruption, because now's the time. If this is already changing how you see the finals, even a little, hit subscribe. I'm not going to beg, so I'll just ask once and keep rolling. Now picture a single finals game as a slider. On one end, total home dominance. On the other, the road team in complete control. Where does the average game actually land? Not at the edges. It hovers right around the middle, nudged maybe 1 tick toward the home side. That nudge right there is your home court advantage. A nudge. Now the honest part, because there's a real caveat. One of these 5 finals, the 2020 bubble, had no true home court at all. Every game on a neutral floor in Orlando. So the 4 years with real screaming crowds are sitting inside a sample that already includes a season with no crowd whatsoever. And even with all of it blended together, the road team still wins 40% of the time. So that caveat makes the case stronger, not weaker. So let's put the entire advantage in one frame. Here's the whole mythical home court edge in one picture. About 5 points of scoring, 0.9% on field goals, and from 3, it's negative because the road teams were actually a touch better. So that is the entire thing everyone treats as a law of nature, a few points and a rounding error. Which brings us to right now. The Knicks just stole both games in San Antonio, on the road, and the series doesn't tilt back their way simply because Game 3 is at the Garden. It tilts because they're up 2-0, and the data says road teams win 40% of these games anyway. New York already proved that with their own 2 wins. Now let me be fair to home court, because it isn't nothing. In a Game 7 with a whole season riding on one night, that 5-point cushion and that crowd genuinely do matter more. Win or go home changes the psychology. So if this series ever reaches a Game 7, the building will matter more than it has all series. That part is true. But for the other 6 games of a series, home court is the most overrated phrase in playoff basketball. It's a nudge wearing the costume of a law. Teams win the finals with talent and with efficiency. The arena just decides how loud the night gets while they do it. And it isn't just the shooting. People swear the referees swallow the whistle on the road, that the calls always favor the home crowd. But if that were quietly swinging games, the road team's scoring and accuracy would crater. We just saw that it doesn't. So whatever tiny edge the whistle gives is already baked into that 5-point gap. And that 5-point gap still leaves the visiting team winning 4 out of every 10. So here's how I'd put the whole thing. Home court is a comfort, not a verdict. It buys you a few points and a friendlier night. It does not fix a talent gap. It does not change how the ball goes through the net. And it does not save a team that's getting outplayed. So when a series flips, look at the rosters and the efficiency, not the seeding chart. So when the Knicks tip off Game 3 at the Garden, you'll hear all about the energy, the home crowd, the series finally shifting, and the atmosphere is going to be incredible. Just keep the math in your back pocket. The crowd is worth about 5 points. The shooting won't budge. And if New York takes care of business, it'll be because they're the better team, not because of the building they're standing in. So I'll hand it to you. Do you still buy home court as a real advantage, or is it the most overrated idea in basketball? Tell me where you land down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe. We're in a race to 1,000 subscribers, so please join the family.